So I get this call from Namibia, from, let's say, Mr. X. He shall remain nameless. And he says to me, Vic, what's going on? He's just bought a brand new foot valve for his Actros and it's leaking. He wants answers. Let's see if we can go and help. G'day, my name is Vic. I do the WABCO Product Training for Southern Africa, and this is the 5-minute reminder. Practical tips from training to hopefully keep your wheels rolling. The 5-minute reminder is brought to you by Commercial Vehicle Solutions, CVS, formerly known worldwide as WABCO. CVS is a proud division of ZF. Right, back to Mr. X. He would have fitted this valve. I can understand his concern. He's building up pressure, and he would hear a sound something similar to this next video. Certainly not a pleasant sound. Whilst that's not a foot valve, the sound remains the same. Today's fault we're looking at is called the leak that's, well, not a leak. Let's go and see what we're talking about. Here we have a standard brake system. Now, whether it be an Actros system or a standard brake system, it makes no difference. This concept remains the same. We have a foot valve that is leaking, whether it's in the drive position or with the service brakes applied. So, like most mechanics, their next step would be to remove that foot valve and go and get a replacement, which Mr. X does. So we enter this step here where we have our new brake signal transmitter. That's the correct name for an EBS foot valve. To explain the fault, I'm going to use a drawing. On the drawing, we can see port markings 1, 1, 2, 1. Now, some people call it 11, 21. I like to go by the basic purity of it. 1, 1, 1, as we know, as we cover on basic courses, is supply. So there, 1, 2. So we have two supplies, 1, 1, and 1, 2. We have two different supplies coming into the valve. 2 is a delivery, 2, 1, and 2, 2. So we have two different deliveries coming out of the valve. So if we had to pipe it, we would see that from one tank, it would come into 1, 1 and would deliver out of 2, 1 to one of the service brake circuits. Likewise, from a separate tank, we'd have air coming into port 1, 2 and delivering off to the other service brake circuit. Right, so far so good. So as we drive down the road, the pressure that's sitting in at port 1, 1 and 1, 2 is the exact same pressure you're seeing on your truck dashboard air brake gauges. So far so good. You apply the foot brake pedal, it takes from the two different supply tanks and delivers it to the two respective service brake circuits. So now here's our next situation. We have got a leak. Now this is where we are at this stage of the game. Now what Mr. X cannot see, all he can see is that he's fitted this brand new valve and air is pouring out of the exhaust. I think anyone would be concerned at this point. What he cannot see is that air is actually feeding back. Port 2 is a delivery. So if we put air coming back into port 2, the valve, the brake signal transmitter or foot valve automatically sends it out of the exhaust, as does any air brake valve. And it can be circuit 1 like this or circuit 2. It actually makes no difference. So how should Mr. X have done his fault finding? Well, he missed a step. We get to the situation where we've got our valve leaking. You're going to have to take the valve off. Start by removing the delivery ports, 2, 1 and 2, 2. And he would have found that the valve suddenly no longer leaks. He would have found that there's now, in fact, air coming up one of the service delivery, 2, 1, service delivery pipes. You would have been able to trace that pipe and find the valve downstream that's actually at fault. There was nothing wrong with his original brake signal transmitter. I wonder how many people haven't made that mistake before. Pretty expensive way to find out. Did you learn something? Imagine how much more you or your team would learn on one of our structured training courses. We start right at the basic stuff, and yes, we do carry on through to some more advanced. We cover for truck, we cover for trailer, and for the guys that have done our basic courses, we also offer logical fault finding for both truck and trailer. Our training is available both online, which is more cost effective, and even available on certain Saturdays. But it's not as personal. So we're also offering in-house training from October 2022, which of course is in person, and affords us the ability for more practical exposure as well. Training is part of our extensive fleet support program. So if we can assist you with training or fleet support, in fact, we can help you with more editions or past editions of the 5-minute reminders. Why not get in touch? Here are my contact details. I and my colleagues look forward to being of assistance to you. Thanks and have a great day.